that.
All right, good morning. Good morning. Have you heard the words, it's cancer and it's not you, it's your.
You're not on the air yet.
Oh,
I'll
I'm
point
on,
it
I'm on Facebook right now, though.
on there. So
All right, well, we're going to have a little, we're in California, all the Facebook people that are listening right now. We have a show planned for you this morning, so just waiting for my prompt from the studio here in Erie. And here we go. Good morning. Have you heard the words, it's cancer and it's not? Nope, not yet.
almost.
Okay. Take two.
Okay.
All right, good morning. Have you heard the words, it's cancer and it's not you, it's your child or loved one? I'm Andrea Richmond, anchor woman here at Love Beyond the Diagnosis, author of memoir Love Beyond Scope, and founder of the Courage Bear Project. Here we broadcast hope and dial into real stories of families navigating life after a cancer diagnosis. You'll find encouragement, storytelling, educational support, conversations with moms who know firsthand life beyond the diagnosis, and dialogue from leading voices who are making an impact on the standard of care for pediatric cancers. You also find resources rooted in faith to help you breathe, rise, and thrive in the middle of it all. Because, Mama, you are not alone. I'm Andrea Richmond, and this is Love Beyond the Diagnosis, a space for mothers who have just stepped into the unimaginable. If you missed an episode, be sure to go back and check us out on YouTube and Instagram at Love Beyond the Diagnosis. And please like and follow me, Andrea Richmond, on my Facebook page for more updates as I continue to post information about my mission to serve mothers, caregivers, and their children navigating life beyond the diagnosis. At Other Side Publishing, we are also working to provide every child diagnosed with cancer a courage bear to honor, comfort, and serve not only the courageous children, but the mothers, fathers, and caregivers who need to know they are not alone on their path to experiencing love beyond the diagnosis. Please visit couragebearproject.com to learn more about our mission to serve these families. So in the first 13 weeks of Love Beyond the Diagnosis, I'll be sharing 13 letters of hope, messages spoken straight to the heart of every mama and family navigating this difficult road. Each episode is a reminder that you are not alone, and here you'll find the voice of love, honest conversations, and encouragement to keep going, all found in the beauty of community and connection with one another. So today I share with you my fifth letter from Other Side Publishing. It's about the term standard of care and what I wished I knew on day one about the term and the word standard of care. So one of the first words I heard when Lauren was diagnosed with leukemia was that she would be receiving standard of care. And the standard of care for pediatric patients refers to this accepted level of medical care and treatment that is recognized by an appropriate and effective, is recognized as appropriate and effective by leading experts and medical organizations. So basically, my child was going to receive the best possible care for the best possible outcome for everything that was related to her cancer diagnosis. It represents evidence-based practices used to diagnose, treat, and manage childhood cancers, and it ensures safety, effectiveness, and of course, this consistency of care. We received a protocol that was many pages long. I still have in a binder I don't have with me today, but it had each segment of her care divided into different types of treatment and for different regimens that she would follow on a daily or monthly basis. And so we would follow that protocol and show up for our appointments, whether we were in the hospital as an inpatient during those parts of the protocol, or we were outpatient for some parts of the protocol. So today I have with me my husband, and Jeff and I are both parents of two daughters who were diagnosed with leukemia 16 months apart. And we're sitting in a hotel room right now, and we are in San Diego, California, on the 22nd floor of a Hilton hotel. And this week, during our time here in San Diego, we have experienced something kind of unique in that my journey as a mother wanting to advocate for the future and emerging therapies for cancer has connected or came into union with him and his job as a pathologist, and not only a pathologist, but he's a transfusion medicine doctor, and he is part of an organization called the AABB, which I'm going to let him explain to you exactly what that organization is and what it means for the emerging therapies to treat cancers. And we're going to share with you this morning a story of the keynote speaker that came to this conference to share his story of his daughter's journey to CAR T. And so I'm going to welcome Jeff to the show. He so graciously has agreed to come on here and talk with us, talk with my audience about what the AABB is and what these emerging therapies and what it means for the emerging therapies for the treatment of cancers.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Andrea. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to share with you and your audience about this subject. First of all, I would just like to congratulate you on all that you're doing with this program and the other initiatives you've undertaken over the last few months in educating and advocating for mothers and families with children undergoing cancer. Congratulations and
Thanks.
Great job. So yeah, we're here at the at a conference that is sponsored by the Association of Advancement of Blood and Biotherapies. So this is AABB's annual conference that is attended by physicians and other healthcare providers and scientists in the field that are doing work. A lot of them are doing research to advance the field of blood and transfusion medicine, and also the emerging field of biotherapy. And I'll talk a little bit about what biotherapy is and how it relates to the laboratory medicine field and the blood banking field as well. So I'm a pathologist in Erie. I work in a hospital setting and also a laboratory setting, and I'm also the medical director of the community blood bank in Erie. So we collect blood and provide blood products for a number of hospitals in the Erie community and throughout northwestern Pennsylvania and western New York. So I'm seeing both sides of the blood medicine field, both on the collection side and on the transfusion side. So one of the new kind of emerging areas in our field is this entity of biotherapies, and essentially biotherapies consists of cell therapy and gene therapy, and there's a lot of focus on those areas at this conference and in our field of blood banking and transfusion medicine. And essentially what they consist of. So cell therapy, there are actually a number of FDA approved cell therapies and gene therapies now. The last I checked, the FDA has approved about 50 cell and gene therapies, not only for cancer treatments, but also for non-cancer diseases as well. Some autoimmune diseases, sickle cell disease, some other diseases as well that are now these are alternative therapies. Andrea was talking about standard of care therapies or conventional therapies for leukemia, for example. Now we have some cell therapies, for example, CAR T cell therapy, that's considered an alternative therapy for diseases like acute lymphoblastic leukemia or ALL in children.
We got to I can segue into that. We got to witness the opening session here. I was able to attend it with Jeff, and we got the opportunity to listen to an amazing president who opened with their rebranding. So AABB once was the American Association for Blood Banking, and now they're moving into the biotherapy sector. And then their keynote speaker this week was a man named Tom Whitehead, and his daughter was diagnosed with a leukemia that she was diagnosed in May of 2010. And while in treatment, she relapsed, and in October of 2011, and then had a second relapse during treatment in February 2012, which led him to tell this story of their journey to this new biotherapy, right? Which is
correct, CAR T cell therapy. So Andrea and I were in the audience. There were, I don't know, 2,000 or 3,000 people at the opening session of the conference on Saturday, and we were sitting there, and Mr. Whitehead came up on the stage to speak after various other awards were given and different things. So he was the keynote speaker, as Andrea said, and he told their story about their daughter Emily, being admitted to the hospital, being diagnosed with acute leukemia, and then failing therapy very quickly. So she was started with conventional standard of care therapy and failed and relapsed just within the first week or so while on conventional chemotherapy. So they had that family and those physicians had very limited options in what they could do for Emily at that time. She was how old? About 6 years old, 7. I think. And so a lot happened within just a few days, a lot of discussions with their physicians, and she ended up going to Children's Hospital of Philadelphia.
From Hershey, wasn't it?
To University of Pennsylvania. And there were some scientists and physician oncologists that were working on developing this CAR T cell, but it wasn't approved. It wasn't something that they had used in children yet. And Emily was the first child.
Once it got FDA approved, it was like, so that week it was FDA approved, and then she got it that next day.
Right. She was the first child to receive CAR T cell therapy for ALL. So, and she responded, and she's been in remission, for over 10 years.
Yeah, since 2012.
So it's an incredible story, and it has led to advancements in that type of therapeutic modality. There have been a number of clinical trials looking at that therapy and others for various cancer diseases and non-cancer diseases as well. So her story has really catapulted this area of research, and they've created actually a foundation. Emily's parents have created EmilyWhiteheadFoundation.org. Emily Whitehead Foundation, which can be found on the internet at EmilyWhiteheadFoundation.org, and they help promote advancement of cell therapies and other biotherapies in the field of cancer. So
it's an exciting time, right?
It is.
While it's not, speaking with some of the people there, while it's not, CAR T is not the standard of care for all leukemia diagnosis, for the children who fail treatment, it's an option now. So there were children, I know when Lauren relapsed, she was diagnosed initially in 06, and then she relapsed in March of 2011. The option for us at that point was to receive relapse protocol, as long as she stayed in remission while receiving regular chemotherapy. And so, but there are cases out there where a child is in treatment and they relapse, and that means they're failing the treatment. And that's why, why this matters is if your child relapses or fails to respond, then the risk of standard chemotherapy alone leading to cure, it drops. And at that point, that's when these clinical trials would enter into the equation. But now there are FDA approved cellular therapies that are impacting the ability to cure these cancers that come out of remission during treatment, which is exciting. This is a new emerging therapy, and it provides these advanced therapies provide a better chance of long-term remission, and I'm excited to be talking about this with you on the show this morning. And Jeff and I, as parents of two children that were diagnosed with leukemia, and we had one that relapsed, and we understand the haul that, that families endure and the child goes through while they are in treatment. And there are other emerging cellular therapies as well, and I'm not familiar with all of them, but they're coming along for different types of cancer. So even for those families that have other diagnoses that is not leukemia, maybe you have a different type of diagnosis, there is hope. It's for the future and how we treat pediatric cancers. And this is exciting to me. And as a mother, it's important to bring this voice to other families out there who, even when we're walking that journey in treatment, in standard of care, there's always hope in that journey. And, if things do happen while your child is getting standard of care, these therapies are very quickly being developed, and I'm very excited about it. So
yeah, I'll just mention also, I mean, there are challenges. You know, these are new therapies that have a lot of potential and inspire a lot of hope for patients that fail conventional therapy. So there are great things on the horizon with these, but there are challenges. And, you know, some of those challenges to these therapies include education and access to these therapies. As these therapies emerge, obviously they're mainly going to be available at large academic centers. And, you know, not all of us have access to large academic centers. For example, you know, UPenn and Philadelphia and others. As these therapies become more accepted and more available, then we will hopefully see them become accessible throughout, you know, the healthcare systems in smaller, you know, cities as well that don't have major academic centers. Also, cost is a challenge. You know, as these new therapies, that they're very expensive to develop, and as they become available, yes, some of these are becoming FDA approved, but there are cost barriers, and I know there are a lot of advocacy groups working on controlling that cost and mitigating that cost, working with the manufacturing companies to try to bring those costs down. So that's certainly a challenge for these new therapies. Of
course,
as well.
Public funding as well, right? Like it's always a good thing. Yeah. So I loved how in the intro speech when we were there for that, in that big hall, that it takes, you know, the reason we're here today and we speak publicly forward with all this and outwardly is that there are so many people that play a role in this, like in helping this progress, right? And help us understand more. It takes more research. It takes more trials. It takes more time. It takes expertise from every level, like from the blood banks all the way to research labs and doctors and, you know, the children that are going through these different treatments, and, you know, what we learn on the other side of, you know, the outcome of trying new therapies.
Yeah, it takes a combination of all of these, you know, different institutions and fields to come together, you know, to ultimately bring these therapies to patients. And, you know, it begs the question, one might ask, well, you know, why is the blood banking industry involved in this? And I can shed some light on that because I was wondering the same thing, you know, coming into some of these talks. And cell therapy and gene therapy are a manufactured product, but they come from the raw material, so to speak, is your own stem cells. So these are what we call autologous products. So the way that you would receive a therapy like this is that you would have blood taken from your own body. It would be spun and the cells would be separated out, and the cells that are of focus here are your stem cells, which are the cells in our body that can become any cell type. They're the least differentiated cell in our body are the stem cells, and we have those circulating in our body right now to replenish and regenerate our aging cells, from our skin to our heart to everywhere. So these stem cells are collected and then sent to a manufacturing company that makes these modifications. For example, with CAR T cell, they use a viral vector of a virus to insert a particular protein or antibody that is specific for the ALL, the acute lymphoblastic leukemia cell, in order to recognize it and mount an immune response against it. So that's how the blood banking industry is involved, because we are good at collecting cells. That's part of our business. We collect blood products, or we collect blood from blood donors and manufacture blood products for our patients. So that's certainly in our wheelhouse. And so with these new therapies, that collection process our industry is being asked to participate on that end.
That's so cool.
So we collect these blood collection centers, blood banks are collecting the stem cells and sending them off to manufacturing facilities, and then ultimately that product a few weeks later ends up back at the hospital and gets infused back into the patient as a therapeutic.
That's so awesome. So amazing, right? And what you're doing in the blood banking world is amazing. And you're another piece of that puzzle. And I just feel so just inspired by you and everything that's happening in the world of transfusion medicine. So as we end the show today I offer our audience 3 anchors of hope, because every week I offer 3 anchors of hope, because where there is love, there is hope, and hope anchors the soul. So the first anchor for the end of the show here is the power of relentless hope. When the standard of care ended for Emily Whitehead, hope began again in a new form. And Emily Whitehead's story reminds every parent that even when medicine reaches its limits, hope does not. And what once felt like the end became the beginning of a global breakthrough. For every family facing relapse, there's a reminder here. New discoveries are born from love that refuses to give up. So I encourage you, the listeners, that the story of pediatric cancer is still being written, and your child's journey contributes to that hope-filled narrative. And second anchor I offer you this morning is the healing forces of advocacy and faith. Sometimes faith looks like science in motion. Tom and Carrie Whitehead's story and their courage to say yes to the unknown opened a door for thousands of children. Their faith, paired with medical innovation, became a living testimony that miracles often wear lab coats. I would like to remind families listening that your advocacy, if you're listening, your advocacy, you showing up, asking questions, sharing stories, is part of the healing process. And every parent's voice has the power to move science forward. And the third anchor is healing is happening, and there is courage for tomorrow. Healing is happening in hospital rooms, research labs, hearts of families who believe in tomorrow. So as I reflect on hearing Tom's story, I offer you the reminder that courage doesn't erase fear, it transforms it. And this week, Jeff and I are here in San Diego, and I am so thankful to be here and have unending gratitude for the researchers, the blood donors, and the families whose faith has turned heartbreak into healing. And I invite you all, listeners, to join in spreading awareness, donating blood, and sharing stories that light the path for the next child and their family who need a cure. So thank you for joining me today. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Love Beyond the Diagnosis. Also, look up the Courage Bear Project at couragebearproject.com. And also, I encourage you all to look into the story of Emily Whitehead and the Emily Whitehead Foundation at emilywhiteheadfoundation.org. Thank you again for listening, and I'll talk to you next week here on Love Beyond the Diagnosis.